Hey guys, Compulsion84 here. Today I've got a review and my personal thoughts on the Logitech MX Master Mouse. So I recently bought this thing with very high hopes. I have a lot of mice. It's got this very unique thumb scroll wheel, which is supposed to be very good for video editing, Excel sheets, stuff like that. I was a little bit disappointed. I'll get to kind of the overall feature run through, and then I'll get to my personal beef with this mouse. So you wonder why I bought yet another mouse. Well, as I'll show you on screen, I've got a lot of mice. All the ones I'm showing you right now are hooked up to my computer, and I use them at various times. The reason I've got so many is due to some things work better than others for certain things. Some are due to comfort. The Sculpt mouse I got with my ergonomic keyboard. I pretty much switched between the Logitech G500 and the Razer, I think it's a Death Adder? Yeah, a Death Adder 2013. Based on, comfort and things like that. I still haven't found a mouse that fits perfectly in my hand that's good for gaming and everything like that. I prefer the G500, I think, just because it's got great customizability, but I do have a lot of mice. I was willing to try another one, see if maybe this one would work just for video editing, or maybe replace all of them, but the G500 didn't quite do exactly what I wanted. Again, the very unique feature is this rubberized thumb wheel, which is it feels really nice. It feels really good. You move it slowly, it's not free spinning, and it also has these two buttons on the top and bottom. They're kind of cut diagonally, and it works really well. You can assign them to a lot of functions. Another really unique feature that I hadn't personally seen before was this scroll wheel, which you can scroll, normally with the, I'll call clicky style. You can disengage it for free spinning, but you can also set it so that it will free spin after you spin it fast enough in clicky mode. So I'll show you on screen and I won't talk just so you can hear it, because you can actually hear what I think it's like a clutch or something like that, disengage. And this was a really neat feature that I actually kind of liked. I mean, if you want to spin a lot, you can do that and blow through a web page or whatever. And it worked really well. And then you can manually disengage or engage the spinning mode right here. Going to the front side, there's a micro USB port. It comes with a charger. It uses one of these unifying receivers, which is just a really small USB thing. It's easy to pair up and sync. One really unique feature with this mouse is it has 3 separate profiles. And then it's got some fancy pants laser that's supposed to work on every surface ever. Like everyone else says, I think they said like dark field laser or something like that. I had to really search for the DPI. I couldn't find it on Amazon or Logitech's webpage. I personally like a higher DPI mouse. I usually use about 2500 to 3000. 1600 was the cap for this, and that just wasn't enough for me. Even in office applications, I don't want to be, I'm switching between 2 or even 3 monitors. I don't want to be constantly moving my hand all around, so 1600 DPI just wasn't enough for me. The tracking was accurate and good, but the speed just wasn't there for me. One thing to mention is this is a wireless mouse, but the battery is built in, and there's no, I'm going to say, consumer replaceable option. It is supposed to last quite a long time. I didn't benchmark it. It does have 3 LEDs right here to show you how much battery life you have left. I had like an old G700 mouse, I think it was, and that would die pretty quick. This one definitely lasts longer than that. However, it's probably because it's pulling at a slower frequency and it's got that lower DPI. But so it should last a while. It does come with a micro USB cable to charge it, but in theory, it's supposed to last 40 days. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what they say. Before I get any further, I'll mention I have links to this mouse as well as the other 2 mice I primarily use. I don't even think you can get a G500 anymore, so I'll probably link whatever the new version is. Again, this mouse isn't perfect for me. It might work for you, but I want to make sure, since I'm not giving a recommendation, I do give you a recommendation of what I would use or what I do use. So I'll be putting those in the description below. So now getting to my actual problems with this thing. So it's got kind of a very high back, and I've got a rather large hand. I wear large or extra large gloves. And I do usually, I'd like to do a palm grip, or I'd end up doing some sort of hybrid. So you can see if I straight up palm it, the buttons are kind of unusable. That's just kind of no good. So what I ended up doing was kind of, resting my hand like this. And it's very difficult to show you, but what it really means is it's got this kind of high back that kind of drops off quickly. I would have rather that it had a slower slope. it has a lot of pressure right in the back of my hand here. My hands are kind of screwed up. If you haven't seen me before, I do have had whatever carpal tunnel. Using this for long periods of time, over like an hour, it really got uncomfortable, and I didn't like it at all. Claw grip users say they really like it. If you have smaller hands, shorter fingers, and you palm it, you might be okay. But for me, the shape is supposed to be ergonomic, and it was actually worse than these other mice that I commonly use. So ergonomics was a big problem for me. So make sure that you check it out. I got this knowing I might return it. I'm going to return it, and that's a testament because I have 5 or 6 other mice on my desk, or 4 or 5 other mice on my desk that I keep. The fact that I'm returning it shows that I just really didn't like this one. I already mentioned the low DPI. That was a big sticking point for me. And then this is what really kind of frustrated me, this next thing. So I use, again, a Logitech G500, and I also have a Logitech G13 gamepad. Both those things are very, very customizable. However, they're oriented with gaming. I'll jump over here to screen caps. So I'll just show you, this is the Logitech software for the MX. Oh, I almost forgot one thing to show you guys as I accidentally hit stuff. This thing right here, this kind of textured, cool looking thing, is actually a button. So the default is to pull up show all your windows that are running in Windows, which I actually ended up liking a lot. I've never used that hotkey, but I can close whatever I have open or instantly jump to whatever. And it's even live, like right now I'm watching Audacity while I record this video. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, this is a thumb button. Almost forgot. Sorry. So anyways, jumping back to the MX Masters software. So this is what it looks like. And this is very, standard. You click the button, you pick your options. It does have a lot of customizability in a couple sense. However, they really screwed up in one aspect. So you can see you can turn on the pointer speed, you can change the direction, the thumb wheel sensitivity. They really knocked it out of the park right here. This worked really well. The smart shift is that kind of clutched scroll wheel that I was talking about, where it engages and disengages. I really like that. The interesting thing I found out is you can actually set the ratchet or free spinning mode here. The button isn't actually a physical kind of geared toggle or engagement. It's doing it's telling, sending a signal to the mouse, telling it to engage or disengage. So that's kind of neat. But so this customization is very good. However, the reason I got this mouse is because of the thumb wheel. I wanted to make it easier doing video editing and browsing Excel sheets. Those were the two things that I really wanted this, with video editing being like a 70 or 80% over Excel. Here's the problem. I use Powerdirector 12, which is a kind of somewhat obscure video editor. I can't afford Vegas or whatever the Adobe thing is that they rip you off every month for, so I use Powerdirector 12. It works pretty well. However, it uses obscure hotkeys. I think it's like Alt mouse scroll up or Alt button up or up arrow key to do the horizontal scrolling. This mouse has very limited horizontal scroll options, and this is my big qualm. So again, if this doesn't matter to you, or if it works with your video editing software or Excel or whatever, then you can kind of disregard this, and this mouse might be perfect for you. But for me, I like a lot of customization, and this just ruins it. You can see there's a lot of options on here, but another thing I ran into, so I was like, okay, well, maybe this mouse is relatively new. Well, it's been out for like a year and a half, or at least a year. People complained about this on the forums immediately, and it hasn't been resolved in at least, a year and 3 months or a year and a half. They're clearly not going to fix it. I use Photoshop for for image editing. So sometimes some people wanted to set the brackets for brush size or change some other things. There's a lot of cool things you could do with this thumb wheel, but it's locked down to just this, and this is crap. There's no reason why you can't give a customizable key, so this ruins it. The scroll wheel might work for you, but if you want to get beyond, I'm going to call like the training wheels modes, it's not going to work. Now, I don't idly complain. I complain for a reason. This is the G500 software for my mouse, the Logitech gaming software. It's similar for most of their gaming mice. Razer has something similar, but I think Logitech's is a little bit better. I'll show you two things real quick. The gamepad, which isn't really the point of this video, but this is a good example. You can see up here, I've got different profiles for all sorts of different software, which is neat. And these things are all customizable buttons, and you have a lot of control. Like I'll go to Powerdirector 12, for example. So because I couldn't scroll with my horizontal scroll bar, the whole point I bought this, the G13, I'll have to throw an image in or something, has a little thumbstick thing. So I bound this thumbstick to the command I actually wanted. And you can see in here, I could set an actual macro with delays, the wheels, multiple keys, toggling, everything. That's very powerful. So I figured out a workaround with hardware I already owned. This G13 pad is really great. I'll eventually do a video for it. But I figured out a workaround that would work for me. So jumping back to the mouse. So now that I've shown you the G13, the mouse does very similar things. So the G500 specifically has a lot of buttons. Alright, so I'll just show you how you can do a more complex bind real quick. So let's start recording, Alt, and let's pretend I need to put a D in there. Oh, pretend I put the D before the Alt, it doesn't matter. And some buttons, yay! Alright, now I will do Insert, Mouse Event, and I can do Scroll Wheel. Forward. So this is emulating what the hotkey I need for my software. So I've just, other than the button mashing I did just for fun, I've now made something to horizontal scroll. So I can assign one of these side buttons to do exactly what I need, and then I can do, you know, other stuff like that. The only problem is with the G500 software is it doesn't have as much control on the game as the gamepad. I can put delays in, but it's not really made to toggle, so it's not as good. But it does have more control than the it does have more control than MX Master Mouse. Specifically, if you wanted to do the Photoshop thing and do your keystroke of left bracket, you could do that. You could change your brush size. So there's power in there. And this is what really ticks me off. Logitech has this gaming software. It works with these mice. It's their software. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's, you know, compatibility reasons or because this is different drivers or hardware, but they didn't put it on here. They used like a more streamlined, easier to access software because this is designed for, I think, office people, and they crippled it. And that's why I hate this mouse. I'm taking it back today. The reason I'm recording this video is because I gotta record it before I take it back. I'm kind of bummed out. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be great, and it let me down because of the software constraints. So again, it's not a bad mouse, but it does have these cons. That's why I didn't like it. I'll put, again, links below to a couple good mice that I like, or I should say the successors to the mice I like. I'll throw in a picture real quick and some just rough details on the G13 gamepad. If you're looking for customizability for Photoshop, video editing, whatever, any program you use with a lot of hotkeys that are kind of hard to use or you want to customize, it's even got like a screen and some other gaming niche stuff, but it's really neat. I've meandered now. You can tell I don't like talking about this, and I like talking about other things more. But yeah, so I think this is the first thing I've reviewed on the channel that I flat out said I didn't like. So MX Master, thumbs down. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about my limitations, what I did or didn't like. If you maybe found a workaround, post that in the comments. Just let me know if you can have any feedback. You might have if you know of any mouse alternates that might help out other people. Excuse me. Please sure to post those below. If you haven't seen me before, I'm Compulsion84, and I do gun, gaming, and gadget-related videos. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.